Welcome to Techfile. We cover the biggest technology trends impacting our lives. My name is Kelley. Now, artificial intelligence is all around us. It supports machine vision and speech recognition. But that's just the technical bit. In the simplest ways, artificial intelligence is behind spam filters on your email. When you post a photo on Facebook and it prompts you to tag someone, that's another form. And of course, on search bars, especially Google or Bing, when you key in a letter and it predicts a word, or a word and it predicts a sentence, that's another form of artificial intelligence. But AI is just getting started with how much it can impact our lives and businesses. Welcome to Techfile. We are talking artificial intelligence. 120 years ago, electrification came and changed the world, from lighting homes to industrialization. 60 years later, computers came and disrupted everything, from social media, smartphones to, the internet. Now, like electrification and computers, I think artificial intelligence will have the same, if not more, impact on our lives and how we do business.
If you think about the third industrial revolution, which was primarily driven by the combustion engine, it's we're actually trying to solve the issues of that industrial revolution, because it is primarily driven by carbon. It's primarily driven by oil, right? That is what drives all those engines. That is what drives the trains that came first. Now, drives the machinery inside the factories and everything. That is actually very congruent with what's happening in the fourth industrial revolution. So one of the primary factories or engines in the fourth industrial revolution is AI. And AI feeds on data. Big data and big data analytics is indeed an industry within itself. But the importance of data in the fourth industrial revolution cannot be underlined. It cannot be ignored.
Now, artificial intelligence is a technology that wants to mimic human skills and replicate your intelligence with machines. Now, how this works is machines are fed with millions and millions of data through a technique called machine learning. And that's why in the new revolution, data is the new oil.
Your private data is an investment. And if, for instance, based on the frameworks and the structures we are attempting to create, we're currently now going through a number of universities having hackathons. We were just at University of Nairobi the other day. We want to encourage the techies and the computer science students to contribute, for instance, their voice data. Have the capability of contributing your voice data into this common community pool. And if you contribute your data, then we will give you access to the community voice data, so that you can also train your voice models. So that for us is one way we've seen that you can apply, for instance, the power of community. You can apply the power of cooperation to actually help people build.
Artificial intelligence and traditional digital computers are complementary. AI solves problems that are impossible for computers. The two technologies, according to Steve Brown, the writer of The Innovation Ultimatum, will coexist and work side by side. For example, while traditional computing presents an attractive interface in language translation apps on smartphones, AI handles voice recognition and language translation functions.
My name is Arthur Ameke. I'm a graphic designer. I have close to 15 years of experience. I work for TV basically, but I also do other things on the side. I love print design, I love AI, I love art. Basically, I'm a student of the industry. I think the most important thing, first of all, right now is to just go online, get used to these bots. First of all, they help with so many of these menial and repetitive tasks. And once you get used to the platforms, then you can know how to, you can build on that. You can build on the idea. I think moving forward, it's the idea first. I won't say that the jobs will get lost today or tomorrow, but I would say let's first get there. Let's observe the AI and how how they're giving us output and how that output affects our work. And once we appreciate that output, then maybe we can talk about the future.
And professionally, what is the standard question you asked it and it gave you game?
I've gotten a lot of content ideas for my company, for example. I do a lot of content. Let me see if I can find something. I've made proposals, for example. I love to write a lot. So once you have the core idea, you give it the core idea. For example, I gave it a prompt to write for me a proposal for event management. And I think I have some of the things in mind already. So I already told it I need an event proposal circling around a few things. This one is
It's hard to think of a business that will not rely on AI in the coming years. Like digital technology, a vital component of any successful business strategy in the 1990s and the 2000s, artificial intelligence must be central to strategic plans in the 2020s.
There's an AI, Artificial Intelligence Practitioner's Guide, that was launched a few weeks ago, which they can go just online and search and find. Give businesses guide on how to get into the space of AI. But in a general sense, think of AI as more of pattern recognition, right? I keep on thinking about patterns, right? So which patterns happens in business, and which of these patterns can be automated, predicted, and replicated? So those are the three things that we kind of look like in AI. And how will business harness this? First, we talk now with NLG, NLP, and NLU instance, which is literally language, right? We are looking at ways we can be able to listen to what is happening to us. One thing I like about what has happened in the country is that we have got very many vernacular stations, right? Which is it is good. It is very good in the sense that now language is becoming more localized, right? Because before you turn on the TV station, it's only going to be English and Swahili, which is very sad, right? Now with the local stations going everywhere and being available almost in every corner, people are coming to appreciate the purpose of languages in everyday conversation, right? We have got stations which are specifically for a specific language, right? And what in the world here, as we turn our eyes to the local community, right? Very many people understand conversation. That is language between people discussing, people talking in their own languages, but written text are not as much available in our local languages as they should be. We have got systems that are coming up, and you can see how a revolution begins and rockets very fast. ChatGPT it became like the thing for quite a while, right? And it will continue being the same. But where would we remain as a country, locally here, with our local languages? No one really cares about your languages anymore, right? They're too localized. There's not much investment in these local languages for someone to come and say, we want to build something for local languages. And for us, that's what we've been trying to do. We've been trying to create these chatbots that have all languages, local languages put in. And it's very interesting to see how it responds. And finding something that understands your language, it creates a better interaction with someone in terms of understanding content, right? And just that aspect of understanding content has got very many use cases.
While we have a lot of tech startups in Kenya, it's extremely difficult for innovators to break out. Challenges from finance, legislation to lack of a ready market almost stops innovators from getting their solutions out. But that's where Think comes in. Ask yourself, what if there was a tech corporation that allows innovators to collaborate and beat challenges?
Think tries to harness the power of networks and the power of collaboration and the power of cooperation to enable innovators survive, to enable innovators scale, to enable innovators create sustainable solutions. Why is this? One of the things that I noticed during my time as a techie is that it is extremely difficult for innovators to break out. One of the common sayings is, is this a unicorn? And I think whenever you look at Silicon Valley, that the story of the unicorn is very popular. And I think it's a unicorn simply because you keep chasing it for almost all your life, and we don't seem to find it in an African setting. In as much as we even co-opt the names, we call ourselves Silicon Savannah and all that. But it's been very hard for us to get that unicorn beyond 2007, 2006, when M-Pesa was unveiled and has actually become a unicorn within our setting. The reality about it is the following. As M-Pesa has shown, it is possible to scale in our setting. What are those lessons? How did they overcome that? And is it possible for that then to be applied to other innovations as well? But what we are basically seeing is that there are a lot of innovations that are coming up. And these innovations have quite a lot of challenges. And they remain small. Yes, they're solving solutions, but they end up having one challenge or the other, be it finance, be it legislation, be it a lack of a ready market in terms of timing, be it the cost of infrastructure, be it even just the cost of skilled labor, like getting the right people to work within those startups. So one of the things we felt could be useful is, what if we decided to become a platform that assists in the collaboration of these startups? And then can these startups also leverage each other for purposes of creating a kind of a cooperative environment? And through that cooperation, have the ability to grow, access markets, overcome challenges. It's almost like the way you hunt in the savannas of Africa. You hunt as a group. You have actually more success if you collaborate and if you work together. And the reality about it is that if we, for instance, take a look at the Kenyan economy has primarily been an agrarian economy, all right? Ever since independence, agriculture has been the backbone of the economy. About 60% of that economy is cooperatives. It's actually cooperatives in the form of coffee, cooperatives in the form of milk, etc. The reality about it is, going into the fourth industrial revolution, we are actually moving into what we are calling the digital economy. The previous economy was agrarian. Cooperatives made it work. If the future economy is digital, what would be our formula to succeed in the digital economy? I believe, from my own standpoint, a form of technology cooperative is the solution, and that's precisely why the startup at Think focuses on that. on platform cooperativism as the heart of it. So what we do here every day is an attempt to encourage the collaboration of tech innovators, to encourage the collaboration of digital entrepreneurs for purposes of creating bigger solutions, and in that way become a backbone in the impending digital economy.
Now, Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant are one of the most popular voice assistants in the market right now. But when you prompt them to play local music, chances are they won't play. And that's not because they don't want to play, it's because their AI has not been trained in our local language. And that's why Think is building a local speaker that seeks to beat these inequalities.
There's been bias, there's been that bias, that whole bias conversation. So there's bias against race. Now there's also bias against gender. It goes down to very mundane things like, for instance, you'll notice a lot of the digital assistants actually bear women names. They bear lady names rather than masculine names. When you come to, for instance, the digital assistant, but then when you come to actual AI models that do intellectual work like IBM's Watson, it has a male name. But the other interesting nuances is that if you end up training a lot of your data with men and men-related data sets as opposed to women-related data sets, you'll find that it performs well with men versus women. So gender becomes a big question in bias. But the one thing that a lot of people also take for granted is that language is a serious bias. And the reality about it is that the entire internet, or the internet as we know it, is majorly written in English. Majorly written in English. But the reality about it is that technology is a tool and technology is a solution tool. And we should be able to converse with technology in our own languages. What has this resulted in? So beyond our use as Think of artificial intelligence as a platform for aggregation, we actually discovered that this gap in language technologies has resulted, for instance, in the marginalization of local content and local solutions. So if you were to ask any of the digital assistants to give you, for instance, local content, to give you local music, simply because those digital assistants, the AI has not been trained in Swahili or has not been trained in African music, you'll be at pains to actually you have an Alexa in your house and you're asking it to play, I really feel, what's like a gospel singer, what's a gospel singer, the Esther. Anyway, they're probably, I really feel like I need this local song in Swahili. And you ask Alexa will, not because Alexa doesn't want to, it just can't. It hasn't been trained in Swahili languages, So we also embarked on doing this smart speaker as a campaign for inclusion. We also want to have the capability to ask for our local content, to have the capability to ask for our local solutions. And that's one of the key projects, one of the flagship projects that we're doing within Think. And we also wish that through that same channel, we should be able to give visibility to a lot more innovators.
That said, there is still tech inequalities in Kenya. This smart speaker will need a smart home. Not so many people have those around here. So how will this work for the local market?
So it's supposed to be your next personal assistant, right? It's supposed to assist you. And if you ask my thoughts, I think my thoughts can go beyond wild, because if you look at the Internet of Things, right? Internet of Things is how devices can be able to talk to each other, right? So you've heard of people having apps that can control fridges, lights, air conditioning, smart kitchens. All those are available. But a smart speaker can be able to do this, because now, in the next level, you're going to be asking it. Basically, it's going to be your personal assistant in everything. Say, set reminders. So that's the normal ones is, be a personal assistant. It knows where you are. It knows what you need to do today. It has got access to your calendar, knows your schedule, knows what your likes are, right? Because With AI, the thing I like about AI is I told you, it is pattern. It knows exactly what you do every day. It can tell you today is a Monday. Today you usually take coffee in the morning. Should I make an order for you earlier? Right? All those things, especially with natural language, you can explore very many things, especially with the speaker. Because now, as soon as it gets to the mature age of being able to being a personal assistant, it can be able to take up tasks for you, right? Give you reminders. It's always next to you playing music. It knows the time you need to wake up today. It knows the time you need to wake up to. In the future, for me, I believe we're going to be enjoying the luxuries of life being controlled by smart speakers. It will tell you the time to sleep. It will tell you your meeting today at 8. I've set your alarm at 5 because I know it takes you 1.5 hours to get to your workplace. Yeah, I've already pre-ordered your breakfast. It will find you in the office when you find it there. You see, automating is what the next thing will be, and I'm hoping that our speaker will be able to be the first interface where it can be a personal assistant to try and automate for your life a bit.
AI is also as cool as it is scary technology. While it may unlock cure for diseases, discover new wonders, and predict the future, some people worry that it threatens human life either economically or existentially.
It's a very big topic currently, right? The ethics in AI. And yes, as they say, AI is dangerous because I'll give you a very good example, right? The ChatGPT that people are using right now. People treat the output as fact, right? And you'll go and act with what it has told you, completely assuming that whatever it's telling you, it's completely the truth. Which is actually, if you go read about ChatGPT internals, it's not a factual model. It is supposed to give you answer to its best of its ability. The output does not have to be right? And that's, for me, the danger. Because, first of all, people need to be educated, which is to understand what an AI model is supposed to do, and what are the expectations from it. And that is why I believe there's this whole thing that we need to stop this thing now. And that the reason for stopping is just create regulation. Creating a regulation for it is, even for Kenya, we need to start regulating this and say, you know what, this published AI systems or something have got this output. They're being monitored this way. Right? There's a sense of governance in what it's telling you. Right? Because we really want to take that. We really want to understand what it tells us, what it means for you, right? If an AI model tells you the best way to enjoy wind on your hair is to jump through the window, right? For us, we can be able to say, okay, but this doesn't make sense, right? But if you look at engineering, if you look at any other doctor, they tell you, cut this artery. This is the way to solve this issue, right? It becomes an ethical issue because now it's entering into someone's profession and giving them direction of how to conduct a very, very complicated procedure, right? So for us, those are the ethics that things need to be used with guidelines, just as any profession, right? Doctors have to pass through a medical board, right? All these other people, basically, you have to go through a process in which you're licensed and you're allowed to practice, right? Very many of these AI models, the information is out there, but the same process, the same way you're using it as a personal assistant, let us have them verified, licensed, and be given the go-ahead to be used for a specific purpose.
Well, that's it for Techfile. I hope you've learned something about artificial intelligence. But what about the dangers of AI? Because the more you train it, the better it becomes. But that's a story for another day. For now, keep watching KTN News.